I'm Chef John Folse. Food is so much more than nutrition here in the South. Every weekend on Louisiana's back roads and bayous, our festivals celebrate the food, music, and cultures that make us unique. Why not join me as we visit the fairs and festivals of our state and cook up another great taste of Louisiana?
Funding for this program is provided by the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. Vieux Carré, Zydeco, Atchafalaya, Natchitoches. In Louisiana, you'll say things you've never seen before.
In the North Louisiana town of Ruston, a festival is held each June honoring the Louisiana peach. Here in the orchard of Joe Mitchum, over 35 varieties of peaches are harvested from May to August each year. The peaches are hand-picked on this 150-acre farm, then immediately hydro-cooled to remove the Louisiana heat. The fresh peaches are dumped and floated for less bruising, washed, and defuzzed. The fruit is machine-graded for size before selling. Joe shared his reason for planting such a large variety of peaches.
Each variety that we do harvest lasts about 2 weeks, and that's one reason that we have to have so many different varieties of peaches, because if we just had a lot of acres of one variety, then our season would be over in a very short time. But by planting about 36 different varieties and letting each variety overlap somewhat, then it extends our season from the end of May until August.
After sizing, the peaches are boxed in specially designed crates and sold directly from the processing shed. Each year at the festival, a cooking contest is held incorporating peaches as the main ingredient. Entries range from cobblers to pies and other unique categories, including entrees. Cooks may compete in either the adult or children's division, but here in Louisiana, it makes very little difference. The competition will be stiff and the dishes truly outstanding. As is true with most of our Louisiana festivals, 600 in all, a parade down Main Street is a must. Everyone gets involved, from the local fire department to the civic and professional groups wishing to make their involvement known to the community. Obviously, scores of spectators come out in force to enjoy the local pageantry. Naturally, there's always a sheriff's posse or some other riding club from the area taking part in this great parade down Main Street. Rest assured that there's foods of every variety present in the street. Here the ladies of Beta Sigma Phi sorority have selected the choicest area in the street to place that booth and are selling what else? Peach ice cream, homemade of course. The ice cream was made by the dairy department at Louisiana Tech University. And on this warm June day, it's definitely one of the hottest sellers. One of the most enjoyable events at the fairs and festivals is the craft show. Craftsmen from the area will jump at the opportunity to showcase their wares and are certain to have a great day of selling. As one strolls down Main Street, you will surely find that rare little treasure that you just have to purchase and take home to share with the rest of the family. A trip to Ruston, Louisiana, whether for the Peach Festival or not, would be incomplete without a visit to the restaurant of one of Louisiana's greatest chefs, Sarah Albritton. Here Sarah, in her distinctive white bandana, serves a plate of peach cobbler to some very anxious fans, and I just know this has got to be fantastic. Well, as the sun sets over North Louisiana, the town of Ruston becomes festively lit, reminding visitors that they are in the city of peaches. What better way to spend a weekend with family and friends as we celebrate another of Louisiana's food bounty? You know, who doesn't love peaches? I know I'm crazy about them, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, here's John telling us that Louisiana is the peach capital of the world. You're saying it's Georgia, right? Oh, come on, this is Louisiana. We do the best peaches in the world in Ruston. That's way up in North Louisiana. And I tell you, just to just to prove it and to bring out somebody who really knows a lot about peaches, my guest in the kitchen a little bit later is going to be my buddy Joe Mitchum. Now, he has a peach farm there. His family's been in peach farming for many, many years, and he's going to come out and tell us all about peaches and why Louisiana should be considered, Ruston, Louisiana, considered the peach capital of the world. Peaches, you know, go back many, many years. In fact, in about 1977, there was a tomb dug up in ancient China, from ancient China, that dated back about 2,000 or 3,000 years BC. And in one of these coffins with a mummified body of a woman were peaches and peach seeds. So we know that peaches were a major part of ancient China anyway. But I found that peaches came into the New World, came into America by the Spanish. They brought them from France, they brought them from England, and all over Europe. But they came into Florida with them in the late 1400s, early 1500s, and then gave them to the Seminole Indians. And the Seminoles brought them up to Florida, gave them to other Indian nations. And of course, the peaches travel across America faster than the settlers did. We love peaches in Louisiana, and we're going to find out just a little bit about how they got here and how Ruston, Louisiana became the peach capital of at least our state. I'll debate the world. They'll send a couple of those Georgians here. Okay, now look on my board, because this is the first thing I'm going to do using peaches. This here is a pork loin. You can tell this almost looks like a crown roast with all the little bones sticking up here. And these are the peaches. I have persimmons also, which is a nice wild Louisiana crop. We have a lot of wild persimmons here. This is the Japanese persimmon. And what I'm going to do with this beautiful pork loin, you know that pork is a perfect meat to cook with sweets. So naturally, peaches and persimmons or grapes or any of those things are wonderful with it. But I particularly love peaches with my pork. So what I'm going to do is season this nice loin. Just go ahead and put salt, pepper, all of these wonderful things here. I'm going to put a little touch of salt. Of course, all these nice herbs, I'm going to put thyme and basil and sage too. I'm going to rub some sage on the top of this nice loin. And I'm going to just kind of rub it in like this, because I want to get the flavor of all of those herbs down in these little slits that I made with my paring knife. That way, as it cooks, it'll really give that nice flavor inside of the loin. I'm putting a little garlic in here. In fact, I'm going to drop some garlic inside of the little slits to even give it more flavor. And of course, I mentioned peaches and persimmons as the main flavor here because they are really fantastic. You can use canned, you can use frozen. You don't have to wait for the Ruston crop if it's out of season. You can go ahead and use some of the peaches that's on the shelves or preserves or whatever. It's going to really be a nice flavor on pork. Again, go ahead and season the other side. And once all of that's done, you may want to come back with a little of that, you know, Louisiana pepper sauce. Just put a little bit of that nice spice if you want to add some spice to it. And then the roast is going to be pan-seared for a couple of minutes to seal in all of the juices. Pork is a nice juicy meat. It's got a lot of nice fat cap on the top. You might want to trim some of it off if you're interested in cutting back fats. But I have a really nice braising pan here, a cast iron braiser, and I'm going to go right into the oil. And I know you're going to hear that sizzle real fast. I'm going to come right into that oil with a little bit of that loin and let it sit here and simmer for a couple of minutes. And I'm trying to get that nice brown flavor, that nice brown look, that caramelized flavor all over the outside of that loin. That's the main thing I'm trying to do. Pull the sugars out. Just go ahead and caramelize this thing real. It won't take long either because this is going to bake, so it'll cook longer once it hits the oven. So you can kind of just turn it around like this once it's sat there for a minute. Look how fast it's already starting to brown already. You can see the nice brown look here. Just sear the meat well, and once it's seared, once you have all of those nice flavors in, then you can come and add the rest of your spices and other ingredients. I'm going to put a little jalapeno, some colored peppers in here, again from the Spanish, to kind of add some spice to the roast. I'm going to add the whole cloves of garlic. I'm going to put them down here while the roast is simmering. Then I'm going to add the persimmons all over. This is a lot of nice sugar. Look how pretty that is. And then, of course, some onions. And again, use your own flavors. I'll always tell you that, to use your own flavors, your own spice. Don't worry too much about what I use. This is a coarsely chopped celery. Put that in. And then, of course, the wonderful peaches. Look at here. Who will say that this isn't fantastic, huh? Now, once all of that's in, I can come back in with a little touch of stock right on top. This is boy, look at that sizzle. This is actually a beef stock. You can put chicken stock in if you want. You can put chicken, beef, pork stock, any one of them that you'd like. Add a little liquor to it or wine at this point. I'm going to cover it because, you know, that's, just think how hot this is. Now you know why I love to use the cast iron pots in my cooking, because they just hold the heat so nice. You can hear it just rolling in there. I'm going to put this in the oven, and I'm going to bake it for about an hour and a half. When it's covered like this, it doesn't take long to cook. You don't want to over brown it and dry it out. You want to make sure that it has a really nice finish to it, that nice caramelized finish. So just put it in that oven for about an hour and a half. Check it every now and then. Remember, those bones are really going to be nice and juicy. You want to cut them right through. I have to show you what this thing looks like when it comes out of the oven. You're going to be stunned when you see the beauty of this roast. I have to clean this cutting board. I got to give it a proper presentation here for you because it is so magnificent. Try this, by the way, for a holiday, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, or if you have special family coming over or friends coming over. Take a look at this roast once you cut it right through the bones. And I'm going to put some of that purple cabbage. You know, I like to put purple and a little bit orange and all of that on top of it just to give it that extra look. Isn't that magnificent? Take a look at that roast. What a centerpiece for a holiday or anytime you have company coming over. This is the peach roast of the Ruston Peach Festival. Fantastic. Okay, now that you have that done, I wanted to do one other dish that I thought was very special, a dish that I thought was a little bit, you know, you see all these common desserts, and everybody's always doing an apple pie. They're always doing just a typical peach pie. I found a peach pie recipe that I thought was just fantastic from the festival, and I wanted to share it with you. You begin the recipe with just a couple eggs and I have a nice blue bowl. I always like to have things in a nice looking bowl. It sets it off real nice. Put a little sugar in it. And you're going to make just a basic custard here. I'm putting a little flour into it. Again, just to kind of pick all of those flavors so it'll thicken the cream really nice. I'm going to make a custard here, a basic French-style custard. I'll put a little touch of vanilla and then squeeze of lemon juice. And just, again, you can vary this. You can put some peach schnapps into it if you want. Go ahead and get, as I'm always telling you, get wild with this stuff. It's going to be really, really interesting. Once all of those things are in, then I have here a little pot of milk that's been heating up for a couple of minutes. You want to get it to a scald about 190 degrees, which is about where it is right now. And then I have to ladle some of the hot milk into my eggs because I have to temper these eggs. Otherwise, you know, when I put it in, I'll make scrambled eggs out of it. So I'm tempering the eggs in the custard. And once that's done, then I can go right back into my cream to make my French vanilla custard. Like you see, just pour it right in like this and just kind of stir it as it goes in. Now this will thicken very quickly. And you just continue to stir it here until it does thicken. And while that's thickening, you're going to saute the peaches. It doesn't take long for this to thicken. So kick the fire up on your saute pan here, and I'm going to put a little buttery flavored oil right into my skillet, and I'll throw a couple pats of butter in here because I'm going to saute some nice peaches for my pie. Well, I'll tell you, that custard is looking good already. Now, once that's in, I'm going to add just a little bit sugar and cinnamon, and of course, all of my nice peaches here. Oh, look at that. Woo! And I can stir this around the saute pan just like that to get all of the flavors into the peach, the butters and all of that. And once that saute is nice, don't overcook them, just kind of get them all nice and flavored. Now I have to come in and put a little touch of brandy. You can put peach schnapps, you can put peach liqueur, you can put all kind of stuff. But I'm going to put a little brandy in, but be careful, get it off of the fire when you put that brandy in, because you don't want to, you know, just catch this whole thing on fire, set your alarm off. Just get it off of the fire for a minute. Okay, once that's done, all of this is, you have to cool it first. So that's all. The custard is nice. You can see how nice and thick that is. And the peaches are done. Let it chill, let it cool at room temperature for a while before you make your pie. Come over here and I'll show you how that's done. I have my pie shell. Look how pretty that is. And I just put it in one of these old clay, one of these old terracotta type pots. The peaches are already cooled, so naturally I would put them right down into the shell. Now, you can slightly bake this shell if you want to. I've found that you can just do it like this without baking. It'll be fine. And once that's in, then I'm going to spoon my custard. Put that nice custard down in there. Just kind of fold it around. This is going to cook a little more, obviously, when it bakes, so you don't want it so stiff that you can't get it into the pie. Just kind of get it all in there and let it go down through the peaches. And once that's in, then you can come in with a little touch of peach preserves. Put some of those nice preserves in there. Look at that, just in. This will melt as the pie cooks. Well, is that pretty or what? And then come right on top of that with the pie crust. You can lattice it if you'd like. I'm going to just come on here with, let me see what I'm going to do. Just take this whole pie shell, and you would take the shell and put it over the pie like this and crimp the edges down. Just crimp it all the way around, nice and tight. And then you can take a fork if you want to and just come around the edges like this and press that pie down. You can do it at an angle. You can use your fingers, however you normally present your pie crust is what you want to do here today. Just kind of go all around there. Then take a little paring knife and cut off the excess the way I'm doing. Real easy to do. All of you pie makers out there, you have your own special designs. I like this simple crust here. And of course, this is a very simple crust. You can buy them already made, of course, some really nice pie crust already done. And then decorate the top. Fact is, I'm going to put a little egg wash on the top of the pie. It's just a little egg and water. Just kind of put it across the top of the pie. This will create a really nice browning as the pie bakes. And then you come right on top of that with the little leaves that we've cut out of the dough, the excess dough. We're going to put just a couple little leaves here. And then, of course, we've made some little peaches to go right there. You can imagine how pretty that's going to be. Put a little weep hole in it because you're going to have some steam shooting out of the top of that pie. And what does it look like when it comes out of that oven at about 350 degrees for about 40 minutes? What does it look like? Well, hey, let me show you. It is a beautiful pie. And if you take a look at this right here, you're going to see the pie. And you see how all the little leaves brown nicely? And I'm going to just put a little bit of that powdered sugar. I tell you, simple, beautiful, tasty. What else could anybody want in a pie? Easier to make or tastier than this wonderful pie right here, the French vanilla peach pie. Now, let me show you two other quick things I picked up at the festival. Right here, we have this peach nut bread that has pecans and peaches in it. Of course, peach cobbler. Look right next door to it. It's a beautiful, simple dish cooked in a black iron skillet, so it's easy to present at the table when it's done. Two very simple dishes to go along with the pie and that beautiful pork roast that we cooked just a minute ago. I told you about my buddy Joe Mitchum from the Peach Farm in Ruston, and here he is. Hey,
John, how you doing today?
Man, what do you have here?
This is some of Mom's special preserves.
The one with the seeds in it.
Seeds and the peeling both.
Is that right? So she just takes, now, you have to hear this. You're not going to believe this. The whole peaches, when they're at the height of the season, go into the pot, seed, peelings, everything, a little sugar,
That's right.
a little water.
Just don't want to scorch them. Cook them slow.
And just slow cook them, and they come into this just beautiful look. I don't know. Let's see if we can get a shot of that right on the
flavor.
right. Can you see that? Good flavor, you say, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
That's right.
Can I taste it? Boy. That is the seeds are still in here,
Seeds
too.
are still in there, or you can take them out if you want to, but we just leave them in.
You mean there were only 2 left on the pantry shelves?
That's
huh?
all.
Thanks a lot for bringing those in. How's everything going on at the orchard? Pretty good?
We had a good year this year. Have a lot of peaches.
Well, you know, last time you and I had dinner together, we were talking about that great peach trifle that comes from England. And I wanted to show everybody how we made it. I think it's one of the best, simple desserts using peaches. We have this big, nice trifle bowl here, and it's all full of peaches. Again, you can use canned peaches. You can use frozen. Naturally, the Ruston peaches would be better in season. I have lady fingers around it. Go ahead and pour all of that in. Just dump it right in there and spread around. That's a custard. Just, again, a typical cream custard. You can spread all that around. Just perfect. And smooth it around just a little bit. And then I'm going to come in and put the peaches, and you can smooth that around for me if you feel like. And I'm going to put a little peach schnapps right on top of that. This is the wonderful schnapps that's going to give it a really nice look. And then I'm going to put the whipped cream on top of that. Oh, look at here. Is that good? Is that good looking? Or what? Again, easy to make, quick when you have friends coming over that just happen to give you a call and say, hey, we'll be there in 2 minutes. This is something that you can really put together quickly. Now, why don't you just go ahead and kind of garnish that for me with some of those leaves there and a little bit of that nice chopped peaches, and it's going to be a really, really nice look. Pretty good stuff, huh? There you go, just like that. See how simple it is? Easy done, easy served, and I'm going to tell you, it's magnificent. Look at that, beautiful. Pretty. Hey, we'll try that just a little bit later, huh? Okay, why don't you have a seat right there, and we're going to chat a little bit about the Peach Festival and about peach growing. Louisiana, you know, we talked about a minute ago about peaches coming from the Seminoles, from the Spanish. So they're not actually Louisiana by origin.
No, there's no native Louisiana peaches. The varieties that we have here were developed in Louisiana, a lot of them by LSU, and we found that they're the ones that do the best in our area, but they're not native to Louisiana.
Now, how did y'all get into the peach business?
Well, my father started the peach orchard. He's a teacher and music major by profession, but he's always had a few peach trees on the side, even when he was a young boy in Claiborne Parish. He bought the property there in Lincoln Parish in the 40s and started the peach orchard on the side, like I said, kind of a sideline business while he was directing bands and music and that kind of thing.
So he just got in it playing around with it, and then it ended up being a great industry for him.
Right. He's not a horticulturist or anything, but it's developed into a really good business for us.
Right. Now, I was kidding all of my buddies from Georgia here. I have a lot of friends who call me from Georgia, so I was cutting up with them about the peach capital of the world. And actually, everybody knows, or at least feels, that that Georgia peaches, Georgia, capital of the peach country. Why is Ruston in Louisiana called the peach capital? How did that happen?
Well, Georgia and Carolinas, they do produce more peaches than we do, but I think we can give much better flavor. And probably part of that is our soil types here, but also it's the degree of ripeness that we pick our peaches. Unfortunately, the Carolinas, Georgia, and all, they have to pick such firm peaches, kind of on the green side, to ship them across the United States or wherever their market is. So they have to pick a much greener peach than we do. We try to pick just as close to ripeness as we probably, can, and that gives us much better flavor.
Now, y'all started out with more acres than you have now. You started out with what? 350,
acres.
And now you're down to 150 acres. Does that have to do anything with the marketing of the peaches?
Right. We've totally changed our marketing strategy. Used to, when we had 300 plus acres of peaches, we dealt with the wholesale market, Kroger's chain stores, Associated Grocers, and things like that. But being the only, or one of the few orchards in our area, we had to compete on the wholesale market with the Georgia and Carolinas, California peaches, and they're much cheaper. So we found that we could develop a gift pack and sell it retail, and we could do much better. And to give the quality and flavor and all that we need in that gift pack, then we have to reduce our acreage and manage much closer.
You know, it was strange for me to find that there were so few peach growers in Ruston, because as I travel the Louisiana highways, and I'm always running around every weekend trying to find either a festival or something where Louisiana foods are being prepared. And just about every little town, as I get into that village or that community, there's a truck on the side of the highway, or 2 or 3 trucks on the side of the highway with a big sign on the side of it, Ruston peaches. And I'm always thinking to myself, how can 1 or 2, 3 farmers grow this many peaches? Is that all Ruston peaches?
No, it's definitely not. And it's a little thorn in our side because the name Ruston peaches, like Vidalia onions and things like that, has got the reputation of, having good quality, good flavored fruit. Unfortunately, people, go on that advertising idea to sell other produce, whether it's from Georgia, East Texas, or wherever they get their peaches from. But no, it's not Ruston peaches. There's actually very few orchards left in the Ruston area.
One of the things that irritates me more than anything else is that I get these gorgeous boxes of peaches in the restaurant, and I have a big party coming up. I want the best of the best. And then I'll bite into this peach, and it's like styrofoam inside. And I know that it's either because they pulled it off of the tree green or whatever, packaged it to make sure it was beautiful. How can I be guaranteed of a good, not only a beautiful peach, but a peach that tastes good?
Right. Probably the only way is knowing where that peach comes from. when you go to the grocery store, sure, you can buy beautiful peaches, large size, good firm fruit and all, but unless you know where that fruit was actually grown and how it was harvested, you're not going to know how that peach is going to taste. So many, like I said earlier, so many peaches are picked too green and they just never reach the full flavor. So you have to know where that peach come from.
Well, I'm gonna take my lesson well here and realize, like I do with a lot of other things, that I'm gonna have to come directly to the orchard. Thank you so much for coming and sharing all that with us. And y'all come back again as we continue to visit the fairs and festivals, and stop by as we cook up more of these great Taste of Louisiana. We'll see you next time. We're gonna eat trifle.
Funding for this program is provided by the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. Vieux Carré, Zydeco, Atchafalaya, Natchitoches. In Louisiana, you'll say things you've never seen before.
More information on events in Louisiana can be yours at no cost. Call 1-800-36-GUMBO for your free Louisiana tour guide listing festivals, attractions, and points of interest throughout the Bayou State. Chef John Folse's Louisiana Sampler, a companion cookbook to this series, contains the colorful history and culinary secrets behind Louisiana's most exciting festivals. For your copy, send a check or money order for $19.95 to Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Or use your credit card by calling toll-free 1-800-973-7246.